Hello, Carlos here with carloswins.com, and in today's video we are going to be discussing the 7 things that you can do to better your relationship with your family, friends, and loved ones. So if that's some information that you'd like to hear about, then stay tuned to this video. So we're here in Atlanta. Today is another beautiful day, and I thought I'd put together a quick video just to help those that are struggling with their relationships with their family, friends, and loved ones. I know for me, that's been a challenge in my life. We live in such a busy time where working a job, taking care of family, kids, and things, dealing with financial situations, health issues, things of that nature makes it very, very, very hard when it comes to being able to devote the time that's needed to foster your relationship with your family, friends, and loved ones. And I think a lot of times we get to a place where, you haven't heard from them in a while, they haven't heard from you in a while, and the love and the feelings for those people doesn't change, but the distance over time just in a sense kind of separates you and puts you further and further away from each other. So what I did was I put together 7 quick steps, or 7 tips that I think would be great for you if you are looking to strengthen your relationships in 2025. So the first tip I would say is to practice listening. And to do so, you need to call. Let me first start with the first. What you need to do is not wait on the other person to call you, or to reach out to you, or to pull up on you, as I say. You have to take the initiative to be what you want to receive, if that makes any sense. You want to be what you want to receive. So because people are good at copying others, I should say. And so it seems like a thing of nature how we are, where we see somebody doing something and we want to do it. We see somebody wearing something, we want to go buy it. Or, we see how somebody's walking, and you'll be surprised. You'll see yourself actually, emulating or trying to walk like that person over a period of time. So because we are that type of people, when it comes to receiving certain things in the world, a lot of times you have to take the lead role and project that. So if you're looking for more people to reach out to you, you have to reach out to more people. If you're wanting people to check in on you, then you have to check in with more people. You have to put that energy out into the world so that it can reflect back to you, so it can affect somebody else and them feel compelled to give you what you gave them. I don't know if you've been in situations where, you're walking inside the mall, and when you get to the door, somebody's behind you, and you open the door for them, and they be like, "Oh, thank you so much, I appreciate it." They come in, but it's somebody behind them, and you may just open the door for that person, but if you look back, you will see that the person who you opened the door for is going to be trying to hold the door for somebody else behind them a lot of times. Now, there are those people in the world who don't really care. They really are very selfish, and they only really think about themselves. And I think to truly succeed in life, you have to find a way for it to not be about you. And knowing that in it being about the other person, they're going to reflect what you give and the attention that you bring, that you display. And you will find yourself receiving that, not even from the person who you expect it from, but just other people around you, because it's kind of like a certain energy and a reflection that again, like I said, that becomes like a virus, where it just actually affects so many people around you to a point to where it just becomes what you experience. So my first tip was not so much practice listening, but actually reaching out and actually calling the person and being attentive to what they're saying. Ask a lot of questions. For me, I'm very good at asking questions. That seems to be one of my strong suits. But practice asking a lot of questions, listening attentively to what they're saying. Ask them how they feel, or how they feel about you. or how they feel about what's going on in their lives or what's going on around them. Really dig deep into tapping into what's going on with that person, because a lot of times you haven't talked to a person in a while, a family member or a friend. Most people just put up a shell initially where, everything is good, fine, the kids are good, it's normally the typical response. But what I found is that a lot of times it's a front. All right, speak low. A lot of times it's a front. They, this image of things being well or always being good is what we all project initially, because that's what you feel, that's what you feel is what they expect. You don't really think that they expect to hear the bad stuff. how the kids are cursing you out, or how, you and your wife or you and your girl aren't getting along, or just the stress that's going on with your job about, how they trying to play you out your money, and how they just want to give you all this extra time but don't want to compensate you. Like, there's a lot of things that go on in our day-to-day lives, that not talking to someone over a period of time and then calling them calling you up, a lot of times, you really don't want to, you don't really want to open up like that. But if you truly love the person and you really care about that family member or friend, and they've really been there for you at some point in your life, open up and share, because that's truly what they're there for, So, like I said, practice listening, practice asking questions, in terms of with getting back involved with that person, and actually look towards listen more and talk less. Be honest, be real, be authentic, talk about the goods and the bads, and really, open yourself up to the conversation is my point. So that is tip number 1, is call the person, call those people, and actually open up some lines of communications, listen, ask a lot of questions. That's tip number 1. I'm gonna try to move through these pretty fast. Now, step number 2 is to communicate openly and honestly. I think that kind of falls from 1 to 2. Again, share your feelings, your thoughts clearly and respectfully, in a respectful way, and be sincere in you being honest about what's going on in your life. And a lot of times, you'll find that if you open the conversations with you being honest about how you're feeling or what you're going through, then you'll find that the person, like I said, they'll start copying what you do. They'll reciprocate. They'll start telling you about what they got going on with their family, within their lives as well. And then you'll find that support will just instantly just start being, it'll arise, and you'll start seeing that they'll be comforting you, or giving you advice that can help you in that situation, or sharing their experiences as well. And that's truly what relationships are really all about, So make sure that you are communicating with them openly, and it's being and making sure too that it's reciprocated. And if it's not, if they don't automatically come back and give you their truths, then again, ask questions. Is everything good? I know how sometimes things aren't good with marriages. I know my marriages, sometimes it could be kind of tough. How's your marriage? Ask those questions and continue to dig, so that you can dig deep enough to where you can actually tap into the real person and what's really going on in their lives, and so that you can better help them and they can help you, right? Make sure that you're in, another tip would be to make sure that you're in a safe place when you're actually communicating your truths, and that you have a clear mind, and that you're able to articulate your thoughts and feelings as relates to certain things that's going on in your life, and even with them as well, so that, you come across as if you're coming from a good place. So step 2 again is to communicate openly and honestly with that person, and also make sure that you're in a great safe place when you communicate with them, mentally as well as physically. Okay. So tip I keep going with these steps. Tip number 3, all right? Tip number 3 is to spend more quality time together. Man, that's pretty big. So, when it comes to, I've had some of the best times with family, friends, and loved ones. I tell you, we have, and and sometimes I reflect back and I miss those experiences. And those are those and those, and I think back on those memories and I'm like, man, I'm so glad that we were able to do this and we was able to do that. Well, in 2025, what we're going to do is we're going to make a conscious effort to plan something. And planning, I want to say plan, but I really don't want to say plan. I really, planning things is good, and you should plan it out. You should plan out, okay, are you free Friday? Okay, I'm free Friday. Okay, let's meet up and we're going to go here to this sports bar and we're going to play some basketball, or we're going to do some bowling, or or we're going to just have some drinks or something like that. Like, planning is good. But I'm really wishing that we can get back to a place where we could be more spontaneous, where it's kind of like, hey, you tapping in, are you free? Yeah, I'm free. Hey, what you got something going on? No? Okay, I'm on my way to come pick you up. Let's go here, let's go here, and let's do this, like I would love for us to get back to a place where things are a little bit more spontaneous as opposed to planned. Because it seems to me, I feel like when it gets so much to where you're planning it, it seems like it comes across like a job appointment. Like it comes off like, you're having to check your calendar and you got this going on and this and that. So for me, I'm not really big. I'm more of this, I guess, because I'm more of the spontaneous type, and, I love spontaneous. I was telling my wife about a situation where we were, how it used to be back in the day with my grandmother, where I don't know about you, but for me, we could pull up at my grandmother's house. We didn't need to call. We didn't even have phones at the times, and we'd get to my grandma's house and walk up on the porch. The door was always open. You open the door and walk right in the house and be like, hey, grandma, and your grandma be sitting she might be in the kitchen or somewhere, and she'd be like, hey, baby, come on in. The door was, they had this open door policy thing going on with grandma back in the day, and man, you do that today in 2025, you might get shot, but yeah, I love those times. Those were just amazing times. I tell you, man, things weren't as serious, or things weren't the way they are now, and so I think that just being able to pull up at grandma's house, and I would feel like for my kids, that, because typically your kids are the only ones that would come, would do that. It wasn't like strangers gonna be trying to come into your house, because it just wasn't the thing to do. You probably would get shot, but those were just great times, and those are times, and it was really more human. Today we're so, our level of communicating with our family members and friends are just, it's texting and catch you when I catch you, and it's not so much a big priority when those things are the things that truly give meaning and purpose to what you do every day, So number 3 would be spending more quality time with your family, friends, and loved ones. And if you're getting any value from this, definitely leave a comment below. I'd love to know your thoughts and your experience. I'd love to know if you was able to if you walked into grandma's house or you didn't. How your grandparents were, back in the day, So let me move on. I don't want to make this video too long. I got some catching up to do with these videos. So tip number 4 would be to show appreciation and gratitude. And what do I mean by that? You want to put yourself in a place where you're expressing more love and gratitude towards your family members and towards your friends and people that you care about. Show them that you love them, continuously show them that you appreciate them. And again, like I said, it's projecting out in the world what you want back. We want to feel love. We want to feel that gratitude as well for the things that we've done for others. And so, like I said, if you don't take anything else from this video, I want you to take this, and that is to project what you want to receive. Do not wait on the world to give you what you feel you deserve. No. Big mistake. Do not depend on the world to do what you think that the world should do, because you're setting yourself up for a letdown, because it just doesn't work that way. If you really want your relationships to be strong for 2025, then you have to project it and be what you want to receive. Be what you want to receive. And so showing appreciation and gratitude when you're communicating and when you're interacting with your family, friends, and loved ones will truly make a difference. So we're going to move on to number 5. Number 5 is take the lead role in resolving conflict and do it constructively. Now, what do you mean by that? Constructively, when dealing with conflict. What you want to do is, if there's a disagreement or something, be the adult, and I don't know if necessarily be the adult in the situation, but what I've learned is life is so short, man. It is so short. And a lot of times, the things, the conflicts and issues, and there are some family, friends, and loved ones who have probably really done some real heinous things, and for that, I think that it does take time for you to heal and for you to find a way to forgive that person. And you may, and likewise for them, you may have done something to someone, but what I've come to realize is that life is so short. And for someone to pass away without resolving conflicts is just, for the person who's still alive, they're left with this emptiness or this feeling of incompleteness. And so what I would say is that if you're dealing with conflict, if you're the reason why you're not close to your family, friends, and loved ones is because of conflict, then what you need to do is, again, take the lead role, call that person up, make sure that you're in a safe, comfortable place, them as well, and calmly address not what they did, but the fault. Take some accountability. Oh man, that's a whole nother video. That's a whole nother video when it comes to taking accountability for your actions. But yeah, take the lead role in finding whatever it is in the situation where you can take accountability for the role that you played in the situation. It could be even where, hey man, I know this is what we went through, but I should have called you even sooner. I shouldn't have waited this long to call you to resolve this issue with you. You know what I mean? I should have called you 2 weeks ago. Like, find something in the situation where you can take accountability for and lead with that. And once you do, that will open the door for the dialogue and for them to look at themselves as well. And if it starts off where you're taking some accountability and you don't see that they're going to take accountability, then ask questions. Questions are really good. Ask the question, hey, why did you do this? Or why did you say this? Or why was this that way? And add that in you asking why. Say, because listen, I'm trying to find a solution to this. I don't want my kids, or I don't want people around me or people that I know or anybody else to go through what we went through, because I love you, you love me, and we've been together for this, we grew up together. It could be a situation like that. So it's kind of like you want to resolve the situation. You want to find a solution, and you want to come across as not so much that you want to find a solution for yourself, but for those around you. Another thing would be to just practice forgiveness and avoid holding grudges. You want to lead from a position of problem solving. And in doing so, you'll find that conflicts can easily be resolved, and things may not necessarily be how they used to be, but at least the lines of communication is open. And if at any given point in your life you feel that you need that person or they need you, they won't hesitate to reach out to you. Okay, so let's move on to number 6. So number 6 is pretty good, and that is to be supportive and reliable. That's a big one. We got 2 more to go. So be supportive and reliable. Show up for your family, in both good challenges and bad. Make sure that, with them going through whatever they're going through, that you actually show up. And if you struggle with showing up, be honest about it, And I think that this is where, you wish that other people would give you enough time to express your shortcomings, or what I call them defects, because it seems, it's like you're hardwired a certain type of way. And though you may have good intentions, you struggle in certain areas, right? So what I would say is, I wish people were gave people more time so that they can better understand who they're dealing with and the struggles and the defects or shortcomings that those people have. Because in doing so, it would give them the time that they would need to be able to adjust with you without having these expectations, on you. How we have these expectations for people, and a lot of times those expectations are built off of us and what we do, or what we think we do, because a lot of times we don't even project what we expect. We expect more, but we don't give anything. So I would say give that person time, and what I mean by give them time is don't just cut them off, or don't I feel like a lot of times we find the excuse to cut. We don't realize it, but we find excuses to cut people off. And I don't know if it's because there are times where we just feel like that it's expected for us to be alone, but that's far from the truth. No one on the planet is supposed to. God didn't make us that way, for us to be alone or for us to be on these solo journeys. God made it for us to be together and to interact together and to communicate together and to do things together. So work on fighting through those negative thoughts of cutting people off, and focus more of your energy on pressing through and actually continuing to reach out and communicate with those people, so that you would give them the opportunity. And like I said, ask questions. That's the key, I think, to it all when it comes to communicating, is asking questions, because it gives you will come to see that you will be able to get to the truth quicker, because we'll create our own truth. We'll create our own truth, and it'll be so far from what really is the truth that it's a lie. So, but number 6 is being reliable. Definitely, be there, show up in the good times and bad for your family, friends, and loved ones, and supporting them in all the things that they do. And again, the hope is that they'll reciprocate and actually support you in the things that you have going on as well. And if they don't, communicate that with them and let them know how that makes you feel, because a lot of times people will not reciprocate because they don't think that you need it. that, like, oh, she good, oh, he good. They don't really need, they life is great. Everything is fine with them. So I don't really need to, reciprocate, and that's a lie. Because we always need, there's something going on each day. I know, even for me, I know yesterday, my emission just seemed, my check engine light just keeps popping on and off. So I was thinking that I wasn't gonna be able to get my emissions for my car. So I was going through something. I was feeling some kind of way. I was needing some advice, some tips on how to go about, getting past it. I was trying to stay in my right mind and stay focused on trying to get it done. And if someone would have called me and be like, hey man, what you got going on? And I could have communicated with it, and they could have made me feel better about it. So we all go through things every day, and to think that someone isn't going through something and that you don't need to reach out to them and check on them sometimes is far from the truth. So let's move on to tip number 7 with building stronger relationships with your family, friends, and loved ones. So number 7 is to respect their boundaries and individuality, meaning that you don't want to, you want to have an open mind when you're dealing with family, friends, and loved ones, and understanding that everyone is different, everyone is unique, everyone has different interests and perspectives, and just knowing that they do, right? Acknowledge the fact of first that everyone is different. And you also want to be able to, you always want to, again, like I said, treat people the way you want to be treated. And that is by respecting their boundaries, giving them space when they need it, and again, in your interactions with them and in your communications with them, you coming from an open place of just understanding. So often we look at things from a standpoint of not understand. Like, I don't understand why he do that all the time, or why she do that, or why she wear them clothes, or why she hang out with them people, or, instead of just taking the position of, hey, everybody's different. They might be wondering why I do what I do, or why I wear what I wear, but we're all individuals, and we're all uniquely different from each other. And that's what God intended. So respect it and open up and be more comfortable with it, in your interactions with them, because again, we all need each other. So if you got value from this video, hopefully I dropped some nuggets that can help, that you can use to add into your life and help build your relationship with your family, friends, and loved ones. I definitely appreciate you staying to the end of this video. And definitely, my hope is that we can build stronger relationships with our family, friends, and loved ones in 2025. Again, thank you for watching. And if you'd like to watch another video that I've created, you could just click on this video right here. And until next time, Carlos Wins is out. Peace.